Oh, hey, I'm so glad you're here. My name is Bree, and I'm the life coach who's going to help you navigate that pivotal moment in your life. Maybe it's a divorce, empty nesting, your first child, a career change. It's that moment where you look at everything that has led you to where you are now, and you ask yourself, who do I want to be moving forward? Now, the number one question I get is, what is coaching anyway? What is it that you do? So, let me explain. I have found it most useful to use a metaphor in explaining what coaching is. So, I'm an avid traveler, and it's only fitting that I use a metaphor of a road trip. So, when we partner together, we are on this journey together in the same vehicle. Now, as your coach, I'm in the passenger seat. I might have a map, I might have a GPS to offer you. I might know that there's a gas station at the next exit to fill up your tank, but ultimately, as my client, you are in the driver's seat. You get to make all the decisions about this journey. You get to decide what vehicle you're driving. You get to decide where we're going, how fast or slow we get there, the route that we take to get there. You get to decide if we stop at that next exit for gas or if we keep pushing it to see how far we can go, right? You are in the driver's seat. So, coaching really is a partnership that enables you as the client to trust your own instincts and solve your own problems. In reality, my ultimate goal is to work myself out of having a business. I don't want to create a relationship where you're dependent upon me to give advice, to give answers, to offer solutions, to offer my opinion. My goal is to help develop that fix it instinct within yourself so that you can solve your own problems, so that you can give yourself advice, so that you can find your own solutions. That's really what we're after. So, with this in mind, I do think it's also important to touch on how coaching is different from other service professions, other helping professionals. So, let's start with mentorship. A mentor is someone who has wisdom or guidance to pass down. They're putting themselves in an expert role in some topic, concept, industry, so forth. As your coach, certainly, I am an expert. I'm an expert coach. I'm an expert on the coaching process. I have, in fact, trained hundreds of people to become coaches, but I'm not an expert on you. That's where this is different from mentorship. I see you as the expert on yourself. You are the expert on your journey. You are the expert on your life, your past experience. You are the expert on where you want to go. So, as I mentioned in the metaphor earlier, I have maps and a GPS and knowledge of what's coming, but you are in that driver's seat. Now, when we look at coaching compared to consulting, this is similar in that the consultant has expertise in a particular area and will tell you what to do. When you think of someone who consults with an organization or a company, they might have conversations with key stakeholders, they might observe meetings and events, they might implement several assessments, and in the end, they will typically have a report of some sort that spells out, here's your areas of strength, here's your areas of growth, and here's exactly what you need to do to fill that gap. As your coach, I will never tell you what to do. You are ultimately deciding what action you will take. This goes back to you being the expert on yourself. As my client, you will get to know yourself well enough and develop a clear vision of the life you want to live so that the actions you need to take to make that happen, those are just going to be illuminated along the way. So you will know which actions will be fruitful, which actions you're most likely to commit to, which actions you're most likely to follow through on. I can't tell you what to do. Remember, you're the expert on yourself. Now, the last distinction that I think is arguably the most important is that between a coach and therapy or counseling. and it is one that often gets confused. So a therapist or a counselor often looks to the past to explain or resolve situations. Now, as your coach, we are really going to be focused on where you are now and where you want to go in the future and how we connect those two. So I personally don't believe that there is anything to be fixed about you. There is no brokenness about you. You have all the resources and ability you need to bring your dreams to reality. My job is to come in with my broom, my duster, all my supplies to clear out the dirt and the cobwebs and the clutter so that you can find that within yourself. It's already there. So going back to that metaphor of a road trip, if you're on the side of the road and let's say your transmission has gone out, and let's say that you don't know anything about transmissions, let alone how to fix them. So you call a tow truck to take you to the service station for someone else to fix the transmission. This is a time when a therapist or a counselor would be helpful. Now let's rewind back to the side of the road again and instead say that you have a flat tire. And let's also say that you have the spare tire, you have all the necessary tools to change the tire, and you also know how to change that flat tire. You'd just like to have an extra set of hands to lift that tire off and put the new tire on, maybe to wave traffic out of the way so that you're safe. That's when it can be really, really useful to partner with me as your coach. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to be one or the other. I absolutely have worked with clients who are also seeing a therapist or working with a mentor at the same time. All this means is that if you are working with multiple helping professionals, we will have a really rich conversation up front about what your goals are with coaching specifically and how that relates to the support you're getting elsewhere. It might mean that we work on one area of your life and you work on another area of your life with your mentor. That's one way of doing it. It could also mean that we're all supporting you in the same area of your life, but we're approaching it from different angles or perspectives, right? So there's a lot of different ways that we can collectively support you in accomplishing the intentions you set out for yourself. So if you're interested in starting that conversation, send me a message. I hope this has given you some clarity about what coaching is, how it's different from other helping professions, and most importantly, I hope that you make it an absolutely amazing day. Journey on.